folks in front of my porch. Let's have a Coca-Cola, a sweet tea, or whatever your drinking flavor is, and let's just talk about life and how far we've come. It's on the only 1340 WTAN 10 Talk Radio Network.
It's All Groovy with Robbie the Shark. Tune in Saturday afternoon from 12 to 1. Listen at your own risk.
Tampa Bay's Tan Talk. Entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
It's Saturday afternoon, it's 12 noon, and you know what that means. Unfortunately, this is not Grigor the Barbarian. He had a prior commitment. This is Matt the producer. The fire pit's lit. 727-441-3000 is the phone number to call. And now, the man of the hour, the man with the power, it's All Groovy with Cheryl the Caretaker and the one, the only, Robbie the Shark.
Well, thank you very much, Matt. Welcome everybody to the show, and welcome back, Cheryl. Nice to see you back in studio. And first of all, Grigor the Barbarian, I need to make a quick statement, I guess, first. The guy works so hard and is cheated so bad.
Oh, yes.
On Saturdays, he sleeps.
I don't blame him.
If he calls in, I'll be shocked. He may, if he wakes up or whatever and has to take a squirt, actually call in. But what I want to mention to all yous up there up north, shut your damn freezer door. It's cold down here. We don't want your weather, okay? Keep it up there.
Right?
Hey, remember all our friends up north? Somehow your weather managed to wander its way down into our yard. Come and get it.
Yes,
God, it was
please.
45 degrees this morning.
Yeah.
That's a cakewalk.
I'm complaining. I complained on Facebook, and people made fun of me. And I told them, I said, hey, do you remember Carter and the sweaters where he told you to put your sweater on, turn it to 68? I told him, I said, well, turn your heater on to 55 when I was complaining about 55. And then somebody mentioned the Carolinians. And I'm like, whoa. And I had to post on Facebook that, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't think how bad they really have it compared to me. We're going to be all right. FEMA's coming to see me tomorrow, and everything will work out good. So it's all groovy. But I do want to bring up a little about women's sports. And, of course, this transgender goofball caca men should not be in there. But I want to bring it into anybody out here. You're a Sheldon fan. You would like watching young Sheldon. Well, when Missy tries out for baseball, you know, the coach is like, I'm not putting a girl on the team. You know, she'll get hurt, blah, blah, blah.
I had a coach do that to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He has to do it too. But I think that's okay because you know you're stepping into an arena that's much larger than you, and your chances of success are probably very small, and you're willing to take that risk. Right. You're not trying to be the best woman. You're not even trying to be the best. You're just trying to be the best baseball player, period. Right. You know, and just do a great job. Right. And men coming in and claiming to be, how I put it here, I was thinking about it. People pretending to be a cat now want to join the women's volleyball team, and they're all dropping out right now. Matt, a bunch of them are forfeiting.
I have no idea
about that. I know you're
I don't
know that either.
A bunch of them are forfeiting because they won't play against, I forget which team it is, because they get a man on their volleyball team.
Well, I think I agree. The man is stronger,
exactly.
You know, on most cases. So.
In most cases. Now, this is not the 1970s with Billie Jean King and what have you not. But then again, it's a woman challenging a man.
What is it? What sport are we talking about?
That was tennis back then. Oh,
you're talking about now.
Oh, no, now. Volleyball. Any female sports.
No, yeah, because
any female sports.
I've had I played volleyball before. Setting up and spiking, a man has so much more power there.
Well, that one girl had a concussion, I think. She was hospitalized. And, you know, that's serious head injury. That's not good. That's brain damage, man.
Exactly.
Trust me, I know about brain damage.
I'm with the girls.
And it's just so wrong. And they're still fighting to keep them in there. I don't get it. And then somebody was making fun. What program? It was probably Gutfeld or something stupid I was watching. There actually is going to be in 2028 or 2030. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's like going to be a I call it. I'm going to say it this way: LGBTQ Elemental P Alphabet League. Okay.
What do you mean Alphabet League?
Trans.
Of what? Of what game?
Not sure what sport. They're going to create a league. I'm not sure what sport, but they're talking about doing this competition. I saw, and they're like, "That's ridiculous." No, it isn't. If you're a weak man, and I was 5'2" until my senior year in high school. My father wouldn't let me play football because you're stupid to do that. I'll get killed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these guys are getting killed because they stink. They're bums. I saw one too, a weight presser, a bench presser. It's a man pretending to be a woman. Mm-hmm. Of course you're going to lift more.
Yeah,
you know?
I can't lift.
It's just, it's so unfair and ridiculous. It takes away everything from these young ladies. I mean, I'm not a big ladies sports fan. I do enjoy the volleyball, especially. Oh my goodness! Did you see that? The pickleball on Facebook.
I don't know what pickleball
and
is.
I'm not a pickleball fan either.
I
These
don't even know what
retards.
pickleball is.
Oh my God! It was like this volley back and forth, like 5 minutes.
Is it like racquetball? I mean, is it like
It's like tennis, but they play with a ping pong
birdie.
paddle.
A ping pong bat?
So it's basically ping pong played on a tennis court instead of a
With a
ping pong
tennis ball.
table.
It's a tennis ball. It's not a
It's a
birdie.
No.
So it's basically ping pong on a tennis court with a tennis ball instead of a ping pong ball.
Why is it called pickle?
I have no clue.
No clue.
Okay.
No clue. Matter of fact, they built one over there at Madeira Beach, and I've never seen. I've
It's
seen
just like
people play on it
golf
one time.
frisbee. Or
Oh, golf
frisbee
frisbee, I can understand that, but
Frisbee
this
golf.
pickleball is just weird. But I think it's tougher than tennis. And these broads going back and forth, I couldn't believe what they were doing. And the broad that was the best and just taking over.
So
she did get spanked.
here's how they came up with the name of pickleball. Pickleball is named after the quote-unquote pickle boat in rowing, which refers to a boat made up of leftover oarsmen from other crews. Because the game itself is created using a combination of leftover sports equipment.
Oh, okay.
That's how they came up with pickleball.
That's actually thank you, Matt. That is interesting.
Exactly.
And that's a real cool way to come out of sports. Hey, play with what you got.
Yeah.
You know, God don't always give you everything, so you get a little bit.
Soccer, I was okay because I was the only girl on an all-guys soccer team. But I had to try out, and I had a German coach. So, and at the very beginning, he was telling me, no, you're not going to do this. You're not going to make the team. And me, of course, competitive. I'm like, oh, let me try out. I made the team. But, I mean, it just because I outmaneuvered them or whatever.
But if it was an all-girls team and having one guy join, it's not right. He has an advantage.
Yeah,
unless he's a little guy. Unless he's a midget.
Yeah, then you're opening a can of worms.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't even.
I don't cough too much like that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you should have to try out, and then if you're good enough, then
Then make the team. But you're a bum trying out, I'm going to say bum because obviously compared to the men, you are not going to be as good. You're going to be better than a lot of men, I'm sure.
Right.
But you're not going to compete against Hank Aaron in baseball or Roberto Clemente.
Did he become a girl to do this?
No, nobody's going to be that good. You're not that powerful. You're not that powerful, period. You might be able to compete. I think there is one NHL chick that played goalie, right? I think for Tampa, too.
Yeah. It was the exhibition game back in the 90s. Marion Rayom. It was for one period of an exhibition game.
Is that long? I thought we had another one. Or is she doing minor leagues now?
I'm not sure. I mean, women have their own professional hockey league now.
Yeah, have you ever? No, I've never seen the professional, but as a referee, I did the high school.
Yeah.
I think I'm allowed to say this. Bitches be crazy. They are nuts. I mean, they are absolute animals. I mean, come checking, they will kill you.
Yeah, the problem is body checking is not allowed in women's hockey. I called college hockey for 3 years when I was at school. Body checking's not allowed. It's a 2-minute penalty in women's hockey, or at least it was in college.
Not in Pittsburgh back in the 90s. No,
it's not for men, but it is for women.
What, a body checking penalty? No.
Well, and in high school hockey, you can check. This is high school hockey, a female high school hockey team.
All right, well, I guess it's different because from what I remembered, and maybe it's different in New York, it was co-ed hockey teams, if you were good enough to play high school hockey, it didn't matter. I don't know if checking was allowed or not. I'm not sure. But women's college Division III hockey, it's a 2-minute penalty for body check.
Wow.
No, they checked. They were nasty, man. And what's so fun as a referee, you see it should come because you could see if you don't hit him or her, you're stupid because it's there. It's going to be a clean hit. Go ahead, whack him, And but this broad, man, she was really, really good. She was like the best in the league, and she went down. Somebody checked her legally. She went down to the ground, got up, looked at me, and kicked at this chick.
Seriously?
You do not kick and kicking with skates on.
That's an automatic suspension, no matter what level of hockey you swing. You kick, that's a suspension.
This was a tournament, and I gave her a game misconduct and 5-minute major game misconduct. You're out of here. And she's screaming at me, "You don't understand. My grandmother came down from, I don't know, Michigan or somewhere away, flew all the way down to see me. And she was in for one shift." I said, "Well, I guess you won't do that again.
Don't kick.
You're out.
Yeah,
You
this is not soccer.
Kill somebody."
Exactly.
Yeah, because they're ice skates, right? They're blades.
So this has actually happened at least twice within the last 40 years in the NHL. 2 guys have gotten their throats cut by skates.
Wow.
During games.
Yeah, I believe it.
In Pittsburgh, they make the Utes wear what's like a headband around your neck.
It's a turtleneck. It's a neck guard turtleneck that I know most teams in the American Hockey League, which is hockey's equivalent of AAA in baseball.
Yeah.
In the AHL, it's required by all players to wear these turtlenecks, which are protective neck guards, from skate blades. The NHL doesn't require it yet, but the players have the option to be able to wear them, so that way they don't get their throats cut by skates. It's happened.
Matter of fact, it didn't happen just a couple of years ago. Somebody got slit, but nobody's died on the ice yet, if I'm
Not
correct.
entirely. One guy in the minor leagues died because of it.
That was the minor league. That's
which is why it's now mandatory in the minors.
That's
the
right,
NHL, you have the option, but I think quite a few players now in the NHL have gone that option to be able to put the neck guards on so nothing happens.
Oh, I've seen where they hit the puck, and the puck has hit them and knocked them down to the ground.
I've seen guys pull their own teeth out on the bench after getting hit in the face with a puck.
I was in the penalty box.
Ouch!
Coaching, and one of my guys got sent to the box, and I'm like, actually, I sent him out to go elbow somebody. I said, "Don't sweat it. I don't care what your dad says. If we need this guy, boom, whack him." So he does. He whacks, come in. We're laughing, chit-chatting and joking, a 12, 13-year-old kid. And whack, here comes this puck. Blam, right in the forehead, Robbie gets it. Now, I got a fractured skull. It's fractured from here all the way around when I was 9. And I get hit, and everybody on the bench, even the audience, they stop like, "Oh, crap." Because I got hit like almost right between the eyes, and I'm like, I'm okay, and all of a sudden, boom, went right down to the floor. They
hit those things pretty hard. I can just imagine.
Yeah, I'd come at you 100 miles an hour.
I've been hit by a paintball before. I know.
But getting hit with a paintball is not. It's a very different level of pain than getting hit by a puck.
That's the only thing I could even compare it to. A puck,
Yeah, but paintball will sting. I don't know if paintballs can shatter bones. I really don't. You get hit with a puck hard enough at the right angle, it will break bones.
Oh, yes, it will. It definitely will. I lost a tooth to hockey. And this is groovy. This is what a hockey player does. It was the end of practice, and my kid was a goalie. And I always take a penalty shot at the end, practice penalty shot. And I like to switch hands because I could shoot lefty, too, after I broke my wrist. I learned how to shoot both ways. And I had him whooped. But the nets were always moved back to the boards. So I was closer to the boards than I realized I was because I'm looking at the net. And I shoot. SOB stops it. Not only stop it, bam, face first, right into the board.
Oh, God.
Tooth goes flying out. And I'm bleeding. I got a scar here. That's why I get that little beard thing growing right there. Cover that scar. Hospital, honest to God, 200-300 yards down the street. I go to Southside Hospital. He wants to put the tooth back. I said, that was a buck tooth. I'm glad that's gone. He ain't putting nothing back. Stitched me up. And then we were doing deck hockey after that because I think Jesse was young.
Which is much safer.
You would think, but it's not. And they're like, Robbie, coach, you're actually here. I'm like, well, yeah, all I did was I only got 3 stitches. I'm fine. And that's just the way hockey is. It's a different breed, different way of things are.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is Miami, Ohio? Is that
That's a town. It's a college. It's a river, actually.
It's
too.
an actual town in Ohio. That's why they differentiate when you hear them. If you're talking colleges, and yes, that's the bat phone calling in Cheryl's hand. But yeah, there's 2 different schools. There's Miami, which everybody thinks about as the Miami Hurricanes on the other
Right.
side of the state.
right?
And then there's the University of Miami, Ohio.
Okay.
That's why everybody says Miami of Ohio. That's what they're referring to with that. And Miami's Miami.
Right. Canes
As in
are canes.
Hurricanes, yeah.
Right.
Matter
Okay.
of fact, that's where Ben Roethlisberger's from. I think Miami of Ohio.
Miami
is
of
just
Ohio
out of
or
Akron,
Miami?
Is that right?
What's up?
I think it's just right out of Akron.
I'm double checking a couple things first.
Well,
Let me get
because
to,
I'm watching the game. The game is Ohio against Miami, Ohio. So that's why I asked.
There's a Miami River in
Okay.
Ohio.
yeah,
actually.
so Ben Roethlisberger went to Miami of Ohio University,
Oh.
the Miami Redhawks, and he's from Lima, Ohio.
He didn't go too far.
No, he didn't.
Uh-huh.
And he was the 11th overall pick in the 2004 draft.
Wow.
And who the hell was taking 10 picks ahead of Big Ben? Oh yeah, that's right.
Chauffeur. So.
No, look at the top 4 picks from the year Ben got drafted: Eli Manning, Robert Gallery,
Oh, wow.
Larry Fitzgerald, and Philip Rivers. And then Rivers and Manning got traded for each other.
Wow.
Same day. That's a loaded draft cast. Looking
Yeah.
at it, when you get Ben Roethlisberger going 11th.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what'll happen when you listen to the It's All Groovy show. You never know. And if anybody wants to jump in on the conversation, 727-441-3000 is the phone number to call. Again, 727-441-3000.
And you can always go to YouTube, of course, WTN Tan Talk Radio, WTN It's All Groovy, or just go to Facebook, Robbie Ferenz, Foxtrot Echo, Romeo Echo, November Charlie Zulu. That's FERENCZ for you non-military folks. We are live right now on Facebook. And as a matter of fact, Sugar Plum, I was having a panic attack before the show, and I'm surprised I lasted this long, but it is time for my medication
My
break.
goodness.
And I left the card at home and my instructions for Sunshine Chauffeur Service.
Oh yes, they're the best.
They are absolutely the best.
Love
There's
them,
no
love
better,
them, love
no
them.
better in the world.
Yeah.
I told that last week. I mean, he even brought me a Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving,
I
and I
know.
didn't get a ride. He brought me one. He just called up, Robbie, you hungry? I'll bring you one. Fantastic
awesome.
folks.
There you go.
Yeah,
They take
I recommend
very,
them.
very good care
Yep.
of you.
You have their phone number?
No, I don't. Well,
I do.
you do?
I
Okay,
think
well, you
What
tell
is it?
them, and
Hold on, I'm looking
I'll
it
walk
up.
out the door, and you let them know, and
Oops.
All right, well, here's what we're gonna do. While Cheryl's looking that up, we're gonna send Robbie off on his smoke break with Leonard Skinner and That Smell. We'll return with more of It's All Groovy right after this.
Whiskey bottles and brand new cars. Oak tree in my way. There's too much coke and too much smoke. Look what's going on inside you. Ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? Ooh, that smell. The smell of death around you. Angel of darkness is upon you. Stuck a need on your arm.
All right, we are back once again here on the It's All Groovy show on the Tan Talk Radio Network. 727-441-3000 is the phone number to call as we're cranking the fire pit back up. Right now, it's Cheryl, the caretaker, and Matt, the producer. Robbie is still out on his medication break. He will join us again shortly.
Yes,
Again,
indeed.
727-441-3000 is the phone number to call. I never got to ask you guys, how was your Thanksgiving?
Good.
What'd y'all do?
I went over to some clients / friends and celebrated Thanksgiving with them. I had a stage 4 cancer patient or client, I should say.
Okay.
That I went over and spent some time with him. We took pictures. It was nice.
All right.
Yep.
As for me, I had some of my family in town. My mom flew down for the holiday and
cool.
get to spend time with my girl and her family. Did a little running around, spent a little time on the beach. So it was truly all groovy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So now we are 2.5 weeks out from Christmas.
Can you believe that?
I know.
What the heck?
I can't even believe it's almost the end of 2024.
I'm going to have a granddaughter in January.
Seriously?
Yes.
Congratulations. So now it's going to be Grandma Cheryl, the caretaker.
Yeah, it'll be Gigi.
There you go.
I get to be a Gigi. Woo!
All right. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And in the same month as my birthday.
All right.
Yes. So, we were talking about the Sunshine Chauffeur Company. So I've got a phone number.
Okay.
I've got 727-748-3766.
All right.
So they can give them a call. And, I mean, they're unbelievable. They come no matter what. So I recommend them highly.
Hey, how do you think, for those listening, how do you think Cheryl and Robbie get here for the show? Well,
Exactly.
I can't remember. Do you drive still or no?
I haven't because my truck was sabotaged.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had to scrap it.
Yes. Was that from the storms or from something else?
Something else, yeah.
Oh. All right, we will leave it at that.
That's another story.
Yeah, that's another story for another day.
Time,
Yep.
So, but other than that, my e-bike got damaged because of the storms. It's getting fixed. So I've been biking it. My goodness. I cannot. You talk about exercise? Woo.
What, e-bike or an actual bike?
Actual bike.
All right, and some of you that have listened to our station before have heard me say this. Some of you haven't. I'm 36 years old. I still don't know how to ride a bike.
What?
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit that. I know that's shocking, but yes, I don't know how to ride a bike.
Wow. I can start you off with training wheels.
Let's talk after the show. But no, I make up for it in another way. I rollerblade.
Okay.
I've been on roller skates since I was about 4 years old. So I make up for the fact that I don't ride a bike with rollerblading.
You see, I like roller skates. I've got the 4 wheels still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But truth
those
be
are
told,
cool.
I haven't seen quad skates in forever. I mean, well, you're talking like the four...
The old fashioned,
The 4 big wheels on the
Yep.
sides and the one in the front for the brake?
Yep.
Yep, those are quad skates. I still have inline skates, which is 4 wheels.
Right.
Like,
Like
right-
an inline. Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I'm used to the inline skates. I don't think I've ever gone on quad skates ever.
Wow.
Like, I know 1 or 2 places in the area have quad skates available for roller skating, but I've never used them.
Wow. Yeah, it's different. I know when I put them on not too long ago, I was like, whoa. But you catch on real. I mean, it's like riding a bike.
Well, and to the point we were talking earlier about with hockey players, I was friends with a lot of hockey players in college, and I still am with a lot of them to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them have told me they're so used to ice skates that when they try to go like rollerblading, some of them have fallen and almost broken their necks because they're not used to being back on the rollerblades again.
Right. Oh, yeah. I believe it.
So
I believe it. But it's good exercise, though. And I think that's the important part. At least, I'm out there exercising.
exactly.
Because at 54,
Wait, you're only 54?
yeah, only.
I thought you were younger than that for some reason. I don't know why. Seriously, I thought you were younger than 54.
Sweet.
Because you're associated with me.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
why.
there's that random voice coming in the background. Robbie has returned from his medication time.
I had someone else that said that too.
What, that you look-
I don't seem like I'm 54.
Well, I say this all the time. Growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional.
Yes.
Very true.
Yes.
And that's why everybody associated with this show, you two and me, we act a lot younger than we actually are.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm 62 years old, and I tell you what.
You're 62? No, I thought you were younger than that.
Well, mentally 26. or,
Yeah.
as the psychiatrist told me 10 years ago, 16.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't think I can dispute that anymore because I'm just a simple man. And
That's why we opened the show with Simple Man by Leonard Skinner.
oh, and by the way, I heard you. I was outside listening. Mike brought us in today. Mike's been the one bringing us in every week from Sunshine Chauffeur Service. Great people.
Oh yeah, the owner.
And I got turned on to them because I couldn't get a cab here off of the beach on the Intercoastal, and the bartender gave me a number. Hey, call these guys; they will come, and they will.
Oh yeah,
they will.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you what, $10 over 10,000 for a DUI. If you're thinking like I am this weekend, I have to go, unfortunately, to Goose's Bar to watch the Steeler game. I can't watch it at home this week, but that's okay. I'm having a panic attack again.
Why?
I don't know. It's weird today.
Just do
That's
your
all right.
breathing.
That's
Breathe in.
that's
Yeah,
that's
it's
what you got
weird.
us for, Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
it's weird.
take what you need, Cheryl, and I can run things for a little bit.
No.
We got this.
I'm fine. But I did want to mention too. Your birthday's coming up January 20th.
Yeah.
Let's do
Inauguration.
it now. Let's do the MAGA dance. I mean YMCA dance. Okay, we need to change it to MAGA. MAGA, and you see he added now too, though.
Yes, folks, we actually have Robbie dancing here in the studio.
Make America groovy.
Oh,
Again.
it's groovy.
There you go.
Groovy. Make America groovy again.
No, it's not Make America Groovy again. It's Make America Groovier again.
Yes.
Groovier. Okay.
Because we're groovy enough as is. We need to make it groovier.
Mhm.
What's funny though is about all the hippies from the 70s. What happened to them in the 80s and 90s? What were they called then?
Stoners?
No, with the stock markets and how everybody was a greedy people. That was all the hippies. They went to college and they learned how to invest in the stock market. And I forget, what did we call them back then? I forget. There was a term we used for them, but they were no longer. And then they were the dinks too.
was a
low income,
flower
no
child.
kids. But anyways, I digress. You know what? As far as that, him and his dance, I don't know how he pulled it off. But it's so ridiculous, so goofballish, ridiculous. I mean, and now we made fun of when Biden did it, his dance, and looked stupid. Should be making fun of, but everybody, I think, finally said, "Hey, screw it." So I'm goofy. He's
It's
goofy
a Trump
too.
dance, you said?
You know, so make America goofy and groovier again. And so I am loving that, and I still can't understand why it has to be so. You're either this side or that side. Let's work together. But I sincerely digress on that. Fetterman, Grigor, I wish you were here. I wanted to argue with you about this, Fetterman. I told you, Fetterman, Braddock, and I know Braddock, according to Grigor, not the nicest people in the burg. And he said, he's a dirtbag. And I said, no, I'm telling you what, he played his game with the Demon Crack Party up there in Allegheny County. And now he is a senator. Manchin is gone. The Republicans own the Senate 53-47, but there's 6 or 10 rhinos. So actually the Democrats own it, if you will. So we will need him. He owns a lot of power now. But Grigor guarantees me that he will vote Democrat every time the vote comes up. He may complain and use his voice a little bit, but he's not going to get what he wants. I disagree with you wholeheartedly. Grigor, if you're listening, call in. If you're sleeping, well, you rest
Sweet
well, brother.
dreams.
You earned it. You definitely earned it. And Trump's tariffs on Canada. Did you see this? I don't know, my head will explode. He says, well, we'll just make you the 51st state. Did you hear that one? Oh, yeah,
No,
Trump
I
said,
didn't
you
hear
know,
it.
because they were complaining about our great relations. They just make you the 51st state. And then they said, okay, we'll make the West the 51st and the right the 52nd, East and West. That way you get 2 senators and 2 senators on the Republican side. And the East Coast in Canada is like the East Coast here. They're Democrats, socialists. And then I swear to God, within hours, and I wake up 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So I see some of these commercials when they first come out. Ontario, Canada. We've been such great trade partners and blah, blah, blah. And we want to bring jobs back home. Like, because I can say that word. Like, Ontario is already kissing our ass, and the man's not president. I'm just, I'm taken so far back. It just cracks me up. And how about this HMO dude, the killer?
Oh, with the United
Yeah,
Healthcare?
out there in New York.
That's horrible.
Now, question. They say that they know he was in a hostelry, I think is the way you say that. I'm not even sure what that is.
He was in a hostel?
Hostel or hostelry or
Isn't that like a homeless
shelter. That's what I thought. Yeah. And they know, quote unquote, he was there, and I'll elaborate on that in a minute. They say he knows he's on a Greyhound bus. Okay.
Are you talking like a haven, or are you sticking with like homeless shelter? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about
The
the guy that
shot-
supposedly shot the CEO from this HMO.
United.
Oh, okay.
United. Okay. So thank you, because people might not understand where I was going with that. Now, those two things right there means they've identified him, but they won't tell us that. And there's a reason, and I'm going to tell you that in a minute. But then they're going to tell me they pulled a water bottle out of the garbage can. Well, how can you say that's definitely his? You can't. You can't. And then they show you video, not just of the shooting, but I think it was in a Starbucks. The first one they showed, and they showed the second one, and eventually they did put them side by side. And I asked Cheryl, she was watching it with me. I said right away, I said, that is not a man. That is a woman on the left. There's a guaranteed that's a woman. And when you look to the one on the right, when the mask is up and you can't do, well, the mask isn't up, you can see the lips are different. They're thicker. Still got a big nose. Both of them do. But you could see in the smile on the one on the left, that's a woman, or maybe it's a tranny from St. Petersburg. I don't know. But I definitely, now then I heard this morning, you didn't hear this one. Apparently, his wife had called and said, they were getting threats.
Right.
And, this defy, defend, or whatever thing that was written on the
I
shell
saw that.
casing. What was written on the other shell casings, I want to know also. But I digress. They have not been living together, and quote unquote, the way the news reported was years. They didn't tell me how many years. Telling you, the beach girl did it. The beach did it. She's the one. If she didn't kill him, she paid for the quote unquote, we're going to call him a hitman, but he made too many mistakes, so he can't be a hitman. Well, they know who he is. How come they don't have him captured yet? That's a big question for me. It's just what kind of garbage is going on behind here that they don't want us to know about? Just like Hunter Biden getting pardoned. Like, who didn't know that was coming?
Right. That's his son. It's going to happen. If it was anybody's son, yeah.
You know, I listened to Tyrus last night, and I was surprised because Tyrus said, yeah, it was my kid. And I love this. He said, it's my kid. I'd have pardoned him too. However, when I announced it, I would have had him at the podium with me. And I would say, you now apologize to the American public. You tell them what you did, and then I'll pardon you. And I actually was able to grab my pillow and go to sleep last night after I heard that. It was like, yes, that's okay. So you're pardoning him. I get it's your son, but he's really getting pardoned because, and it's not just for the things that he was found guilty of, but a blanket pardon. Why? Ukraine, $100,000 jobs, money laundering, all that, and it leads back to Joe. The question is Joe going to pardon himself eventually? He's supposedly he's going to pardon Fauci. Fauci and our COVID guy, I'm not allowed to use that word.
What did Fauci do?
Excuse me, that disease we had a few years ago.
Yeah.
Let's rephrase that. He hasn't been charged with anything. How do you pardon somebody who hasn't been charged? And do they realize that what that does if you do this and you do pardon them is every president from here on in can flat out, boom, hey, Cheryl, you're my whatever director of this or that. Do whatever you want. However, I want the job done. You get it done.
Okay.
I don't care if you got to put a bullet in somebody's head. You do it. Okay, you take care of it. And then at the end of the presidency, she's pardoned. He's pardoned.
Well, because I was following orders.
He's pardoned. Well, that didn't work for the Germans, did it? Now with the Nazis, didn't work for them. No, when the hearings came up about that, I was just following orders. BS. I was military too long, and that's a matter of fact of why I resigned. is my lieutenant tried to tell me, actually, he was the captain, tried to tell me that I'm not allowed to talk about Bill Clinton and put him down because that's my commander in chief. I said, I talk any way I want and blah, 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 give me all this grief. And I said, you know what? I've been in 13 years, 8 months, 25 days, went and talked to the sergeant upstairs. And he said, Robbie, he says, you're not even under contract anymore. You already got 4 honorable discharges. Pack your things and resign. And that's what I did. I resigned. You don't have to follow those orders. Even in combat, you are permitted to kill your sergeant if he tells you to kill a little kid and you know it's wrong. You are permitted to do that. But
You're permitted to kill the sergeant?
Absolutely. The guy who ordered you to do it.
Why?
You order me to kill a little 5-year-old kid?
And
that ain't right. Boom. Because he got a gun pointed at me. The sergeant telling me, shoot him.
I heard the little kids walk around with bombs.
Well, that
and
was
stuff as
Vietnam.
well.
Vietnam, that was a little weird. I guess it's probably going on in the Middle East now, too, which we don't even want to get into.
Don't you have to do, are you doing
Yeah, I am. But no, we're only at 41. We got 10 more minutes to
that?
get
I
to
want
that.
coffee.
You want coffee?
Yeah.
Well, go get a cup of coffee.
I made coffee.
Yeah, and she hasn't really been messing around with it. So now Cheryl's going to take her
now
coffee.
I'm getting some coffee. I'll be right back.
Cheryl's going to take her coffee break, and Robbie and I can keep going for a little while.
Now, anybody, I don't know about you, Matt. Have you seen these New Jersey drones?
No, I don't have an idea what you're talking about.
They've been filming them over New Jersey, and one of the spots is what's the name of that Army or Air Force base there? It begins with a P. I forget. I should have wrote it down, but I don't care. It's a moot. It's a military base. And Trump's golf course is also there. He has another golf course there.
Of course he does.
And they're hovering over this area.
But Trump has a golf course like everywhere. That's his problem.
Well,
That's
hey,
another
you
argument entirely, but you get my point.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what he enjoys. That's fine. He got the money to do it. Do it.
Hey, whatever makes him happy, whatever floats his boat.
But what's happening, I believe that's Monday, is congressional hearings with information that they want from the military about UFOs.
Right.
They are not telling us what these things are. They're saying they're drones, commercial-sized drones, and they were pretty big. If you've seen it on TV, they're fairly large. And in other videos, people would normally tell you, "Oh, look, I think that's unidentified flying object." Which, by the way, there is no such thing as a UFO.
Really?
Yeah, that is correct. That's why they call them unidentified aerial phenomenon now. When I was in the Air Force, yes, I did have access to pretty neat satellite pictures, and I did have a picture of, we'll just call it Santa Claus.
Okay.
But it was not Santa Claus. And I went in and I'm arguing with my boss and telling her, come on, Sergeant. That is what it is. She said, no, it's not. I said, yes, it is. She said, there's no such thing. I said, what do you mean there's no such thing? There's a picture. I got a picture in front of me. I said, I'm not drunk. I'm not high. There it is. She said, Robbie, the Air Force, this is 1984 or 5. The Air Force official statement, and there's no such thing as UFOs because they've all been identified. So we know it's up there over Jersey, but they're not telling us. And then there's going to be this big hearing on Monday, congressional meeting of some sort of committee. That's why I wish Grigor was here, because he knows all these in and outs that my mind just doesn't keep a hold of sometimes. And be prepared, folks. There are extraterrestrials. I will tell you that for a fact, at my own peril. I know I'm not supposed to tell these things, but I've done it before. Not quite to this extent, but they are real. And be very, very prepared. And I want you to understand this, though, too. Scientifically speaking, we got Christmas coming, and it's all about Jesus. It's all about Christ. Well, don't you think Jesus wasn't born of the earth? Well, he was born of the earth, but he's looked to God, so God's not from the earth. He would be considered an extraterrestrial. Mm-hmm. So then he sends down the Holy Spirit to impregnate a virgin. I think we talked about this the other day. Mm-hmm. And so, how was she a virgin? Well, DNA, man.
Mhm.
And I don't care to say about the Noah's boat, same thing, too. There wasn't all those animals on it. It was just vials of DNA. And mix them together and clone them when you get, when the water goes away.
Did I tell you how my son came up with he knows why God, how God named him. Jesus. Yeah. I was pretty amazed, too. He was like 2.5 when he came up with this. And I went, okay, I'm listening. He goes, God's holding Jesus in his, in his arms. And he looks down and he goes, oh, Jesus.
That's really bad, Cheryl.
That is cute for a 2-year-old.
For a 2-year-old.
That is the cutest 2-year-old dad joke I've ever heard.
That is so cute. Then he came up with, oh, Jesus. I thought it was brilliant. I'm like, wow.
That is the best dad joke I've ever heard come out of a 2-year-old ever.
See?
Out of a 2-year-old, yeah.
Yes.
Gotta go with that big time.
So cute.
Hey, and this is still on the line from an old TV show. Kids really do say the darndest thing.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I mean that in as good a way as possible.
Yep.
Oh,
No filters.
that was a note I missed.
Robbie's getting excited about something. Here we go.
This one cracked me up. Because, you know what? That's because you came in the door and I was watching the news and I hit pause because my hearing's not very well. So I want to hear what this goofball got to say.
Come in and just yapping.
Because if she just starts yapping, then we don't even have a conversation. It's a waste of time. And so I paused it, but then I rewatched it. And this goes back to the pardoning. Mm-hmm. And they're calling Biden a liar. Well, of course he lied to you. I don't want to hear all politicians are liars because they're not all liars.
Most of them are.
It's
all dirty.
I don't think Trump is a liar. I really don't. But then again, I've
so
been
he
a fool
told his
before.
wife about all the other.
Oh, his wife too.
Okay.
You should have seen her making. her making fun too of the dance because they had her on the show. This morning's Fox in the Morning, and she's like, "Have you danced?" You immediately said, "No, no way I would do that ridiculous thing." But he says, "What's his name? How do you pronounce KJP?" Jean-Pierre or something or other.
Kim Jean-Pierre?
That's her name. I can never get that one right. It's like Sunshine Chauffeur Service. Mm-hmm. I always screw that one up. But she said it, and she said it actually 10 times. You don't understand. Over the holiday weekend, Joe wrestled with it. He kept wrestling with it. He didn't know. He kept wrestling. He wrestled. It was such a struggle between moral and immoral. Should I do this? Not do this? Feel bad for him. You schmuck. Wrestle. Get out of here. Like, I'm supposed to feel bad for Biden. You see that too. Nobody's going to donate to his presidential library.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think that's ever happened in the history of the country.
So he danced to YMCA. Is that what he did? He did the dance to?
That's what Trump does. Yeah, he does it to the YMCA. Of all songs, which is my absolute, I hate it. There's no song I hate worse. I grew up in the disco era and Skinner era. We killed disco. We just didn't bury it deep enough.
Hey, don't be knocking the village people on this show.
I just had to see what he was doing.
Every time at a Penguin game when I was up there in the Berg, and I don't know how, especially when they go to the TV timeout, YMCA, I'm like, what the hell does that have to do?
Because everybody gets involved, that's why.
And
everybody.
I finally learned that. That's high school. So that's 40 years ago, I guess.
It's like Garth Brooks and his down and low play,
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Everybody knows the words to it. So
I don't.
You don't know the words to that?
No, I don't.
Garth Brooks.
Wow. First person.
I was not a Garth Brooks fan. I don't listen. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But then again, I'm the guy who listens to like Rammstein and Godsmack and Fozzy. So
I've heard Godsmack.
Yeah, I'm sure, but half the people probably listening to our network have never heard of Fozzy or Rammstein either.
I know them, but I have to see them. Because
Rammstein is a German rock. Rammstein is a German rock band a friend of mine got me into.
Cool.
And the only reason I know who Fozzy is because their frontman is professional wrestler Chris Jericho.
Oh, okay.
That's the biggest reason I got into Fozzy. And
Fozzy.
The fact that they're actually a good act. No, it's not related to Fozzie Bear the Muppet.
All right. Before we go to
Before we go to
First of all, I want to say I hope Paul Porter and the home team's listeners from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. are tuning in. They stay tuned in, and we'll get you the top 3 to beat the bookie, but that's coming up in a moment. But since Cheryl brought it up and Matt doesn't know it, I'm going to drive everybody crazy. You ready? Blame it all on my roots.
I showed up in boots.
And ruined your black tie affair. The last one to know, the last one to show, the last one you thought would be there.
And this is why Robbie doesn't sing.
The fear in his eyes when I took his glass of champagne. I toasted you and said, honey, we may be through, but you'll never hear me complain. 'Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer for chases next door at the Sunshine Bar. All right, enough of that.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is why Robbie is
Boy,
a
they
talk
turned
show
it
host
off
and
now
not a
for
singer.
sure, huh?
Yep.
They
Our
turn
listener-
it off now for
Our
sure.
listenership just dropped about 10% because of Robbie attempting to sing.
I had to because
No, they
I love
sing
that
along.
song. I love that song.
Everybody knows that song.
And everybody up there in Pittsburgh, they know. Say hello to Harvey the Happy Heave at Harvey's Hellhole. And I say that lovingly. When you tell him that, he will laugh. He will laugh because you know the difference. I'm part Serbian, and I always told Harvey, you know the difference between a Jew and a Serb. And he's like, what, Robbie?
Yeah, what, Robbie?
About 1,000 miles and a yarmulke.
A yarmulke.
That's a little hat they wear on the back.
Yes, I know that.
Because they're both cheap SOBs who take care of their family first, which could be
Which is what we're supposed to do,
A
but
bad thing.
nothing wrong with
Depends
that.
on how you look at it. But no, me and Harvey, we used to my grandfather was thrown out of there before I was old enough to drink in there.
Oh, God.
He asked you, I had to tell you, man, he was the baddest man in Duquesne. He carried his cane. He didn't need a cane. He carried a cane. I'm gonna whack you.
Baddest man.
Baddest man in Duquesne. Yeah.
You're going to miss out on.
No, I'm not.
No, he's got time.
Okay.
Yeah, I got time. I definitely got time. So you got me thinking about Jim Croce.
I was just going to say the same
The
thing.
whole damn town.
Bad Leroy Brown.
Right. That's right. And
Benefit-
that's what my grandfather thought it was.
Benefits of going up with actually good music.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's why you should always stay tuned after the home team, listen to some groovy music. And then you get to hear me, Cheryl, and Matt. And maybe we'll convince Grigor to wake up from a nap and call in next week. We'll see. Excuse me.
You're excused. And
Okay.
yes, this is now Robbie letting out a thought.
Well,
Or trying to collect his thoughts, rather.
I was trying to get you to read my mind.
Top
And-
3.
Unfortunately, I can't do that, but I think it is now time.
Introduction.
I think it is now time for everybody's favorite segment here on the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for my 3 to beat the bookie with the one, the only, Robbie the Shark.
How Yun's doing this afternoon? I hope everybody's doing great. This is Top 3 to Beat the Bookie with your host, the one and only Robbie the Shark. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. I don't risk betting, only my integrity. But if I did, we're 26 and 38. That's 68.4% over the bookie. So we're now playing with the bookie's money. I don't, because if I bet a penny, guaranteed loss. And even if this, I don't know, don't say that. Don't jinx yourself. Keep thinking that. No, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to say it. And of course, I only pick 3s that are free over the airwaves in my market, the Tampa market. And they give me really 3 crappy games, but I got to go with them. I got to pick 3 out of the 4. And we got the Vegas Retards in Tampa, and I'm taking the Queers -6.5. And we got the Bears, the Little Cubbies in San Francisco, taking the Niners -3.5. And football night in America, the Los Angeles at the Arrowhead Referee Field, KC going down like the ex-wife, quick and easy. LA Chargers through the chefs. They don't need the 4 points, but take them anyways, the 4 points. So in English, so everybody out there who is professional and not a goofball like me, Las Vegas is in Tampa this weekend. Taking Tampa, give them the 6.5. Tampa will win by a touchdown. I really feel it. And Chicago, San Francisco. San Francisco's got a lot to make up for last week, so I'll give that 3.5. San Francisco will win. And the Chargers, Los Angeles, Kansas City. Got to take it, especially after referee gate last week. Kansas City will not win. Why did I tell you why I picked them? I'm not supposed to do that. But there is one other thing. Of course, I don't pick out of market games. You all know how I feel about the Steelers. They are my favorite team. The Steelers will win. They will not cover. I think it's a 6.5 or 7-point spread. I didn't write that down in here. It's in these other notes. But
What game did you say it was?
Steelers and the Browns.
All right, hang on. I can check the stat line for you right now.
Yeah, the Browns are coming to Pittsburgh. The Steelers will win this game.
Browns and Steelers betting line is Pittsburgh at 6.5.
6.5. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was. That was actually from memory.
And the line for the Bucks and the Bucks and the Raiders is also at 6.5. This one favoring Tampa Bay.
And Chicago, Frisco still at 3.5.
Chicago and San Fran. Hold on. That is yes. San Francisco minus 3.5.
That's what I thought. So there's your picks for this week, man. We got, like I said, the Buck and Queers minus 6.5, the Niners minus 3.5, and they're going to charge right through Kansas City like a hot knife through butter. Won't need the 4, but
yeah. Meanwhile, Kansas City is one of 3 teams that have already clinched playoff spots in the NFL. The only teams that have clinched playoff spots, Kansas City's locked up a playoff spot. The Bills have clinched the AFC East. And as of Thursday night, the Detroit Lions have clinched a playoff spot in the NFC.
now we got
The Lions?
The Lions have clinched a playoff spot in the NFC. They're 12-1.
Wow.
The only loss for the Detroit Lions, week 2, in Detroit to Tampa Bay.
Wow.
Oh, that's because of last night's game, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I fell asleep on. I was watching Rudolph, and I switched over to the football game. Boom, I was out. That was probably a good game. They won by 3, but didn't cover, so Green Bay with 3.5. If you went that way with the Dogs, you'd have won last night. And I want everybody to remember, this is for entertainment purposes. Jesus,
Entertainment. This is for entertainment purposes only, not for
That is
actual
correct.
betting.
And this is without the express written consent of the DF-NFL partnership. That's a DraftKings NFL partnership. I want to wish everybody good luck. Have fun. Peace out. And remember, it's all groovy.
Peace.
Come on, baby. Hey there, sugar dumplings. Let me tell you something, girl. I've been trying to say.